Okay. Hi. I was supposed to do that dumb intro, but honestly, I can't be asked. But you know what? You know the concept by now. What we're four episodes in. You know the concept. No cuts, no whatevers, no whatevers. You know, I'm just chatting. That's all. That's all I do. For however long. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it could be a while. It might not be, but it could be. I don't know. Today I'm just here for as long as I feel, just chatting about whatever I feel like. It has been a while since the last one, a few months maybe, a few weeks even. I'm not too sure, I haven't really kept track. I'm going to try and promote this on my main account. Hopefully it gets more people listening in. And if you are one of those new people, welcome. It's a very chill sort of podcast, I guess, where there's no real there's no real end goal, if you get me. There's a set structure to some extent, but it's literally I write down 4 topics 5 minutes before and just chat, just because I don't know, it's just something nice. Just I feel like sit down, have a nice little drink of tea or whatever, just enjoy some imaginary company from me, and I'll enjoy some imaginary company from a PC and a microphone. I really should put some video for the people watching on YouTube, but honestly, if you're going to watch it on YouTube, literally just go down below, click the Spotify link, click the SoundCloud link. Hopefully I've got it up on SoundCloud. I'm not sure if I got the third one up on SoundCloud, just 'cause I think there's like some storage stuff, which isn't good, but if it is on SoundCloud, then, just stick it up on there. It just makes it a lot easier. If not, all you gotta do is just leave a video on, maybe plug your phone on charge, or just put it on like a low thing, or if you can do it through your TV, you know the deal. I don't need to tell you. But yeah, there's no real purpose to this. So the 4 topics, I've got 4 today. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's maybe more. I don't know. The 4 I've got today. The first 2 are involving, I won't say involving Corona, but I've got the theme of that involved. It says about quarantine and stuff like that, which it's informal. I'm just gonna express my opinion. I'm hardly gonna give facts and figures. So the first one is quarantine survival guide. Basically, just I don't want to clash that with topic 3, which is balancing productivity with relaxation. But oh, I've got stuff in my eye. See, this is the stuff I can't blur out. Why did I blur cut out? But whatever. So it's just basically how not to get stuck and how not to be bored almost, and how to survive, if you will. I mean, obviously it's very much exaggerated, but I don't really care. I've still got something in my eye. I don't know what it could be. I can't remember the last time I put anything near my eye. Anyway, second topic is just me discussing how my GCSEs got cancelled. I'm sure, along with many other things, I know it's not exactly a top priority, but it's just something I'm going to talk about because, first-hand account. When they're digging up the history records and being like, what did the kids, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds doing their GCSEs, what did they think? There you go, historians. Welcome to your gold mine, if you like, if you will. Feel free to ask any comments, ask any questions, history men. I'm sure I'll be very interested to see what the world's like for you. Probably not very good. So 3 is balancing productivity with relaxation. That's another thing that is, I wouldn't say more prominent now than ever. It's probably less, but I think it's easier these days just to get, in this situation, to get distracted by being too relaxed, if you get me, but being like, oh, I'll just take a lazy day today. I'll just won't do anything today, and then you do it the next day, and the next day, and the next thing you know, been a week and you haven't moved out your bed. And then the final one is actually something completely different, which I obviously wanted to put in just because you know, there's only so much you can talk about Corona before it just gets fucking tiring. And Jesus Christ, anytime you turn on any sort of media, Corona just pops out of nowhere. YouTube, news, radio, everything. Phone, PlayStation, not PlayStation. I don't log on to like GTA or something and then like Corona warning. But you know, it's everywhere. So that's just gonna be a final bit, just to break it up and just have something random to talk about, and that is just the growth of my YouTube and how I feel about my new content which I'm producing and doing vaguely consistently as well. I'm trying to, at least. This week has be, if this goes up on Thursday and I streamed today as recording, but Wednesday for you guys, then it's going well. But you know, so it's just, yeah, me just talking about that, I guess. Yeah, it's been going quite well because I've always been stuck around the 100 mark, and then I got just suddenly to like nearly 150. I'm actually going to quickly look now what I'm on. I think it's 144. I don't exactly. I keep track of it enough to be happy, but not so much where I feel like it's too much. No, you know. I don't obsess about it. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, 144, which is great because it was 142, but it went up to 144, and it was like I can't exactly show you. I'll go to my YouTube statistics. Again, this is just something I just keep tabs on. I don't exactly obsess over it. Like, oh, I must get more views. It's nice to see when I do get more views. If I go to analytics, see, my views have been, so it's actually quite a cool graph here. I can't obviously put an image in, but so there's these two videos that I made, and then something, so I got a decent amount of views from that. I got a decent amount of feedback from that, but then I hit a peak, and it's almost like there's two waves of it. So there was the first wave, which was, this is of views. There's the first wave of which everyone was like, everyone that discovered my channel. So I basically got a shout out just to clarify, I guess. And then there's the first thing, the first peak of everyone like just discovering my channel and watching my content. And then there's the second peak, which is because I basically uploaded two videos one day after the other, because obviously that was how my schedule was going. And that hit another peak, which was actually a lot bigger because there was two videos, I guess, and it was fresher content to watch, and one of them actually went really well. You know, in retrospect of how everything, so that got 38 views, which for me is pretty good, saying, you know, I don't know, it's just quite good, I guess you could say. My best video still annoyingly is Sponsors News. I genuinely hate this video. I won't say I hate it, it's just, you know, it's got nearly 300 views, so obviously it's sort of my child, but just watching back, it's just not the best. Yes, as I see, it's got 70 to 90 more than my channel normally gets. And then, you know, I luckily, which I quite like, after this, you see, like, for me, like, before I got the shout out, it was quite like I was getting 1-3 views, so quite a low number of views every day. And then after the peak, it goes, every time I upload, it's like 16, 11, and okay, it's flattening out a bit, but it's still a lot higher. It's still in the 10s rather than in the 2s and the 1s and the 3s, which is cool. It's cool to see. Watch time is the exact same. Watch time used to be 0.1, 0.4, and I'm guessing this is minutes, and now it's like nearly, I'd say about an hour a week, I guess. Well, it's 6.8 hours in a month, I guess, 28 days. I'll call it a month. Which is about 3 weeks. So, you know, about an hour, just a bit over. But that's because there was a peak again, as I said, which was about 1.2 hours, and then the second peak, which was an hour. Subscribers has been, I won't say inconsistent, but what I'm happy to see here is that there's actually some subscribers that happened after the initial spike. I've just realised I've completely gone off track here because this is skipping out. This is going to the last topic. Well, guess we're doing the last topic first. Oops. So this is it's the initial peak where I got 27 in a few days, which was great. That was really cool to see. Then I got another one, then I lost one, but then like a few weeks afterwards, I got 2 more, which was really cool to see. Yeah, it felt good, and you know, it just feels nice. So impressions, I got like 5,000 impressions, which is completely different from what I'd normally get. What's my typical? Yeah, it's up 300%. So previously it's 1,000 impressions. My impressions click through rate is 5%, and I think that's mainly because I've really improved my thumbnails. Like my personal thumbnails have just gotten a whole lot better. Like I'm spending more time than understanding why I should, especially the past 2 ones. Like I literally rushed the last one I did, but I rushed it and gave myself enough time for it to look good. So basically, the context behind it was why I had to rush it was because I had to go down for tea and I had to basically upload it by tea. I knew I had to basically get the thumbnail done within like 10 minutes. And it was about some sumo rock throwing people. To the title, again, I think I'm doing good with the titles. Leaving my old life behind to become a stone throwing sumo wrestler. It's quite long, but I still think it's quite good. It's a solid title. And then literally all I did, I mean, it's really shaky cutting out, and you can see the mistakes here on the left arm, but I know you can't, but there's like white, you know when you cut something out and there's like, you don't do it right, and there's like just white specks and like chunks out of arm. It's not that bad, but you know, it's not perfect, and you can definitely see those there, but that was because I rushed it. But I basically got a Zen, I literally typed up Zen background, got some like nice Zen one, chucked a sumo wrestler, chucked a couple of rock. Well, no, it was the same rock. So I copied a rock, then I duplicated it and just shifted the color and balanced them on top of each other, and then just put a title, "Becoming a Rock Throwing Sumo." Which, okay, it's not the greatest, but I think it's still a lot better than that. Oh my god, that's sick. Okay, right. Okay, so that's sick. That's so cool. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Right. Alright, okay, I thought that was okay. So I basically on my other video, so this was 28th of April. When was that? 2 days ago. That was only 2 days ago. That's sick. It's got 2 likes. I thought it was 3, but it's because I liked it. The only reason I like it is because if I like it to start with, it provokes other people to do the same, thinking, oh, someone else must have liked this. A small top tip there. So then I've actually on 2 likes, and I was like, because normally I likewise. Again, likes aren't things that I particularly keep tabs on, but you can really see from beforehand. Sometimes I'd get the occasional like. Actually, I think a lot of these likes are actually from people afterwards. But if you look back at before the one that sort of set off, you know, some have 2, some have 1, some have none. But overall, you know, it was quite low before. Some even had a dislike sort of thing, which is never great. And I mean, admittedly, the content wasn't great back then. But ever since that one video that was there to start with, when it went off, got 5 likes, because that was the one that's got 33 views. That's the one that sort of popped off a bit, just because of it. But then a few, like the ones behind, like back away enough that people could be bothered. So there was one like trapping people in a very expensive maze in Planet Coaster. It's not a great title, and the thumbnail is. I thought it was really good, but it just isn't great. But all of them have likes to some extent. Some have 5, some have 3, some have 6. But there's a couple of 5, a few 3s. Yeah, but the ones that have got 3, I'm happy with the videos, and the ones that have got 1, I can see why they've got 1. They've either been up not very long, so like a day, and the ones with 3 are just being really good videos that I've enjoyed. So again, going back to this one that I was literally just on, videos I find cool. Oh, I did have 3, it's got 2 now, my bad. It's because I liked it, yeah. But I really enjoyed that video. Then there was another one here, which was some delivery simulator thingy. That again, it was just a really good video, and I enjoyed it. And for 7 views to have 3 likes is pretty good going. Best of Monsters, that's always going to be a great video, and that shows by having 5 likes and only like 20 views. 19 views and 5 likes, and those 5 likes are all mine. No, I tried to say something and I ended up saying the complete opposite thing from what I want to say. The 5 likes are all other people's. Like, I haven't contributed a single bit to those likes. And it was a really good video. I did take one day off my schedule to finish it off, and I'm happy I did, because otherwise it wouldn't be as good as I wanted to. And I think it was great at balancing being good and not taking ages to actually do, which is what you always want, isn't it? But like normally, if you go to February, how many times I uploaded? 3 times, 4 times in February. In February, when I was getting pretty much back into doing YouTube a lot more consistent. Actually, I tell you when, it was October, I think, time. Because that's when I was like decided, oh, I'm gonna do. I did 1 week of daily videos. That was a really good time, actually. Here it is. It was November, actually. 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. That was really good, that. And, well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing that, but I think it was quite a strenuous process. I basically, I had a concept in my head of being like, for 1 week, I'm just going to try and do a video every single day and see if it is potentially possible. And it is. All basically, for me, what I have to do. So if you are interested, because what you find a lot is with, what I'm trying to say, with YouTube, that's what I'm trying to say. The more content you produce, the higher the chance of someone seeing it and liking it. You wanna fix the balance between making a lot of content and, well, you wanna find the balance between quality and quantity. Because if I go to the very first few videos, I've unlisted them now because they're really just not great. If I go to the very first few videos I've done, I never had commentary in them. So it was the 3rd Battlefield video I did that I actually spoke in, and that's still to this day, I think it's got 103 views, because that what you find is it sort of went around my school. I can't quite remember how, but it went around my school, and then because I got about 50 views from my school. Actually, let's have a look. Let's have a quick analytics check, and you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see the point when it sort of went around the school, and then you could see the point when what am I trying to say? The point when it sort of died off, and then you can see the second wave of, because it went around the school and because it got a lot of views. Here we go. So, God, it's actually really hard to see. So, when was it? So it got uploaded quite soon, and then instantly, almost, it got a lot of traction, a lot of views. And then you can just see over time, because it was at one time one of my most popular videos, and I think it's like, see, Yeah, it's still probably my second, third most popular video. I think it's my third most popular video. Here we go. It's fourth actually. It's like my fourth most popular video. It's kind of crazy how it still is there. And what annoys me the most about my YouTube, I'm gonna quickly move on after this. Don't worry. But what annoys me most about it is my top two videos I do not like. The second one more so than the first one. The second one is a 41-minute video, sped up. And the thumbnail, admittedly, is great, especially for the level of what I was at the time. But literally, the video is just. I don't know if you can be able to. Okay, I don't think you'll be able to hear that, but it's literally just 40 minutes of sped up footage of me building a not so great house. And it's because it is one of my most popular videos, like in the last 28 days, 28 views. It's not great. And the audience retention really shows. It's literally a minute long. People obviously go, I think someone probably skip to the end, like just to see if I finish it. When did it hit? It's got a huge peak here of 11 views. Sunday the 11th, Sunday 21st of July, so nearly a year ago now. And it's had a consistent amount of views, and it's just annoying. I just don't like that video. I wouldn't list it if it wasn't so popular. And then part two has only got 61 views, so clearly people didn't care enough. And part two is literally the same again, 40 minutes. It's actually the exact same thumbnail with just part two and it blacked out. Jesus Christ. And it's just me finishing it off and decorating it out. Oh, actually I do a house tour. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. But, you know. I'm happy that my content is getting better. And, you know, it just feels good. It feels good for not only the response to be positive, but also for my content to feel like it's improving. Although saying that, there is one video in the past. So I'd say in the past 28, we'll go 28 days. That's what YouTube likes to say. So I'll put a lot of videos. Actually, in the month of April, because we're still in April, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 videos. It'll probably be 12, which is like a lot. That's for me especially. But it's great that, and it's actually come because it was in April that I decided to go back to just doing gameplay, because it used to have like a bit of a choppy thing. Actually, yeah. So I don't know. It was mainly November time actually I decided to go straight back to gameplay, but you know, there is but out of those videos there is two thumbnails I think I'd change. One just because it's a good thumbnail, I just didn't do it right. The other one because it's just not a good thumbnail. It's an alright thumbnail, but it's not a good one. And there's one video I changed, and that's just because basically I wanted to get, this was a few days ago, and I just wanted to get a video out, and I basically the video I did previously when I recorded it, I think the audio was like really clinky because my microphone can sometimes be a bit inconsistent and scratch a bit or something. I don't quite know. So it's a weird thing to explain, but so that happened a lot, I think, or some audio issue. Something happened anyway. And I was like, I as much as I'd like to upload. So basically, actually, what I did originally was I'd be like, okay, it's not going to be the best video ever, but I'll just edit it and upload it, and it'll just be a throwaway video that people will forget about. But what ended up happening was basically I started editing for about an hour and a half, and then it just basically crashed, and I hadn't saved, and then it all went a bit wrong. To be quite frankly honest, it all just went a bit wrong, and it crashed. And obviously, because I hadn't saved it, it just got all deleted. And I started again. It's like, you know what? I can't be bothered. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna do a different video, and I'm gonna do a quick playlist video. So I literally did this the night before. I had a day to edit and upload, and it was really choppy editing, choppy thumbnail. Everything's not very great about it, but overall, it could have been a lot worse. It really could have been a lot worse. But enough about my YouTube. We've gone on way too long about that. We're actually going to move on to something a tad more interesting, or maybe a tad more relevant. We'll actually go to the start now of the quarantine survival guide. So, if you are stuck and you are listening to this right now, you probably ran out of things to do, because this is probably not going to be the most interesting thing ever in the world, is it? But what can I do? What can I do to make this interesting? I'm stuck at home. I'm in my pyjamas. Well, I'm not. I'm in a dressing gown. You don't need to know that. But I'm here. And I'm just going to talk about what I think you should do during quarantine. So, if you are like my girlfriend, she's not doing anything, pretty much. No, she's doing things, but it's... I have a habit of being... Me personally, I have a habit of being a bit over... I give myself too many things to do, and I can never get them all done, sort of thing. This survival guide will help you balance out being able to do what you want to do, as going to play on computer or browse through Instagram or watch YouTube, and balance that with things that will help you in the future. So, two of these things for me personally is next year, because what I'll get into later. I've done my GCSEs without doing them. It's great. I think they would have started in a week and a half time, so I'm happy to be stress free at the moment, because it feels like a long, long time ago since I started uploading. No, upload. What am I about? Since I started revising for GCSEs. Obviously, I've stopped now because I'm not doing them, but it seems like a long, long time ago. So I'm happy that I've not got that stress. But yeah, so one of the things I'm doing for A level is I'm doing English language, and for that I need to learn to read. I don't know how to read yet, no, but I need to read and write. So I'm basically writing a book, and reading a book. Not my own book. Yeah, I write it and then I read it. No. A different book, and I'm trying to get some inspiration, trying to get better at the language of English. Not so much in my speaking, and as much as I'd love to do in my speaking. Actually, you know what? I am trying to get better at my speaking by doing things like this, I guess you could say, and just trying not to trip up as much, because this is... Theoretically, it's not, but in theory, this is live. Whatever happens, and it just gets uploaded, and someone can clip it and put it out of context. Like, I'm into men. I'm not, but someone could just clip that and be like, oh, Ben's not a homophobe. That's not what they're called. Ben is not a homophobe. Ben is a homosexual. There you go. But I'm not. So, don't tell that. You know what I mean. Where am I even going? This has got nothing to do with quantity stuff. But you know what I mean. Doing things and preparing for the future. This is probably the best time you'll ever have in your life for doing that. Unless you're retired, but then you're not preparing for your life. You're preparing for your death. That's okay. That got very sad very quick. So, what should you do? Is basically the question. You may be there and you may be spending 4 or 5 hours on YouTube every day. Now, I do that, but that's not the point. The point is I can do that and balance what I want to do. So if I'm ever on the computer, I will have YouTube there 9 times out of 10. just playing. I won't necessarily pay attention to it, but it'll just be playing. If I'm having breakfast, I'll probably have YouTube there. If I wake up, the first thing I'll do is YouTube. I've been able to wrap things around that and be able to fit them into your time that you have here while you can. Because, you know, it's all well and good saying, oh, this quarantine time I can just use for relaxing, having a huge break from life, which, you know, you can do, but it's also great to think back in the future when this is all over, hopefully soon, and be like, you know what, you know, you don't want to be like, I wasted this time, I wasted this potential opportunity. You want to be like, I did something and I'm happy with what I've done here. So for me personally, what I've been doing, as I said, reading, writing, I've also been doing a lot of YouTube and really been committing to it a lot more than I would have, because something I heard a lot from other YouTubers is that they started at this age during the holiday that they would have had. You know, the summer holiday you have after exams, it's always like 10 weeks or something. This time it's half a year, which is cool. Yeah, nearly half a year. But they always start around this sort of time because it's a perfect opportunity to start, because most people don't do much at this don't do much during their holiday, their 6 weeks holiday, let alone if it was an 8 week holiday. So taking up YouTube really just, it gives you something to put your mind to, which is honestly, it's not why I started YouTube, now think about it, but it's a reason why I've kept it going, is because it's something like, as much as I know I'm not going to become famous out of this, and honestly I don't really want to, because I know that in 10 years being a YouTuber, it's going to be a very tough job. It's no surprise to anyone why a lot of YouTubers are trying to get into the mainstream media by going on a reality TV and doing in films and whatever, because they want to have that sort of success that when their YouTube career does go, which in all due time it probably will, that they'll be able to keep another career, they'll be able to keep their career going without falling at the first hurdle. Same with Twitch streaming. I want to become a famous Twitch streamer because I'd have to sit in front of the computer for 6 hours a day. Actually, I do that anyway, but I'd have to play a game for 6 hours a day, which doesn't seem bad, of course. It's not great. And then obviously, again, you've got, you know, if you want to, you're basically relying off of people's money, and to buy a house, it's like, oh, so what's your form of income? Well, you know, it's sort of pity donations. So as good as it'd be, it'd be hard to justify. And I wouldn't want it to be this way. Is anything, the most I'd ever want from YouTube is just to have it being a hobby which gives me money and gives me a community to speak to and have. Because I think all I really want is influence and being able to spread the good word of my channel. You know, I just want people to be like, oh, it's him, cool. I don't know. I want people to look up to me and be like, bro, it's him, that's cool. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Again, I've gone off on a tangent of YouTube. I should stop speaking about YouTube. It's a bad habit. It is a bad habit. But, you know, starting YouTube is a great idea at this point. Writing a book, again, if you've got that as an interest, great idea. What not to do is to sit in the computer and play games all the time and then go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and then wake up at 12. Maybe not 12. 12's alright. It's not great, but it's alright. Waking up at 6 and going to sleep at 5 sort of thing. It's just, if you woke up at this time for me, so it's 6 p.m. Obviously not a.m. That would be a very early time to do anything, but waking up at 6 p.m, you have pretty much 2 hours of daylight left. Maybe a bit over, but 2 hours of daylight. Like, you cannot feasibly do much there. And even during the night, even if you live alone, there's only so much you can do during the night that won't disturb other people. Like, the only time I would be alright with people being like, oh, well, I played the guitar at 3 in the morning, is if they lived alone, quite far away from everywhere else. Because if for the regular person, whether in flats or whether in just houses that are quite close together, the neighbours don't exactly want you to be doing anything quite late because they can hear it, because it's the only thing they'll be able to hear, because everything else will be quiet. So yeah, being able to do that in the daytime, you want to be able to keep a hold of your sleep schedule, but not abuse it. You want to give yourself enough time to relax and feel like it is your time off, so you're not like stressing like, oh my god, I got work when I wake up, sort of thing. I mean, some do, obviously. I'm talking to the people here that don't have jobs, i.e., people my age. You know, you don't want to be waking up at a dumb time like you would for work or school, but you want to be waking up at a time when it's still relaxing enough where you don't feel stressed, but it's not late enough where you're just abusing your schedule and it's like, I haven't got enough time to do any of this. Which no one wants. And even if you are going to decide, even if you've got some sort of addiction to just gaming, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've been there. Honest to God, just stream it, man. Just stream it, especially on PC. But the more on Twitch, I have a mate that streams. He streams on Mixer, and he probably does it. Sometimes he does it twice a day for about 6 hours. Each time, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. Obviously, sometimes once a day. Sometimes he misses it off and does a video on YouTube. But overall, he streams a lot per week, and he does not have enough viewers for that. No, not that he does not have enough viewers for that in a negative way, but he's taking the time. He doesn't have enough viewers for the work he puts in. Like, he should have more viewers. But he's taken his time off. Where, because he doesn't have, he got laid off, so that's, SMH on his work. But he's got this time off now where instead of him just lazing about, he can actually put what he'd normally be doing, but just because he'll have pretty much nothing else to do because he's obviously unemployed at the moment, he'll just be able to commit a lot more time and a lot more effort into what he wants to do and what he cares about, which is great. I appreciate him. I appreciate it. God, I appreciate his work and I appreciate the effort that he puts in, because honestly, for, as I said, a person of his size and his caliber, that's not an insult. He might be a large guy, no, but for his like size and community size and viewer size, he gets like 3 viewers for 90% of his 6-hour stream, which is kind of sad. But he's growing, and I'm hoping that he grows well, and that he actually gets something out of it, because Twitch is an endurance game. Twitch, and you just gotta keep going for your break until you get big. Now, I just do it as a one-off because I enjoy it. I'm like, well, I'm gonna play a game anyway, so I may as well. And I do try and put it into my routine, because how I see it, it's a lot easier. If I want to stream for 2 hours, it's so much easier than spending 6 hours on a video, which maybe not all videos are 6 hours, but a lot can be, because by the time you get through recording takes about an hour. Then you get, for a basic video, then you gotta edit it, export it, thumbnail, and by the time I've finished editing, it's still another hour and a half, 2 hours before I've actually finished with the video, because there's a lot of small things like picking a title, picking a thumbnail, or creating a thumbnail even, which can take up to half an hour, 45 minutes, depends how much I commit to it. Doing all those things, it takes a lot longer than just flicking on Twitch and streaming, which, as I said, takes 2 hours, which is a nice. It can take 2 hours. As I say, it can take 6 hours, which then YouTube and Twitch balance out. Yeah. I'll move on to GCSEs being cancelled. I think you get the idea of the quarantine survivor guide and how to balance productivity with relaxation. It's just being able to see where, not where you've gone wrong, but look back at your past few weeks, your past few days. Obviously, we've all been on quarantine for a few weeks now, and be like, what, where have I gone wrong? Where I could have spent more time doing this rather than sitting on my arse on my phone. We're all habits of it. Today has been a really lazy day for me, mainly because the only thing I'm doing today is streaming. But I've actually had a lot of time to write and a bit of reading, which is cool. I enjoy those two things, and that's what I've done, implemented into my routine in my day. And to get one final thing on that, to get some sort of schedule together is great. Even if it's not YouTube or not Twitch, if it's something like, for me, I've got a schedule for reading and writing. Because obviously not all days are relaxed as this, and like yesterday, for example, and Tuesday, yeah. I had a busy day Tuesday. I had to record, edit, upload, write a quiz, do a quiz, and I think I was gonna stream, but I ended up not streaming. But doing all of that in one day, I know that the only time I'm gonna have any free time is going to be late in the evening. So what I did then, I was like, you know what, I'm going to write myself a schedule of reading and writing, because what I do now is just before I go to bed, I spend an hour, I watch my YouTube, then I spend maybe not an hour, but 45 minutes, a long enough time to just do things that relax and I want to do, like reading or writing. And I've got a schedule where it's primarily reading, but I spend time writing as well, because the book I'm writing is something not that I'm going to just obviously do in a day, or maybe a day, like 24 hours it might take me to do it, but I'll do it, chip away at it over time. And yeah, I'm trying to think how many words I've got in it now. I can quickly look actually. Put your bets in now. Probably, how many? 5,000 words I've got now. And this is the first draft. I've got 3 chapters out of like 11 I'm going to be doing. But how I see with this is going to be one day that I'm going to be, I think what I might do is 1 week where I'm just going to do one video for the entire week and just spend a lot of time writing and a lot of time reading. Because I feel like I can easily, when I get into it, it's like editing a video, is writing for me. As soon as I get into it, it's almost an addiction, and I can just keep going and keep writing, which could be a bad thing. But for me personally, that's a great thing. And I have to sometimes prize away the laptop or the computer from my hands. So I think one day I will just sit down and just spend a few hours doing 2 to 3 chapters in a day, which I could probably do vaguely easily, relatively easily. That's probably the word I should be looking for. And you can see, again, I'm using you can see. For me, I can see here, and it's like you can see the curves of when I've written a lot. And there's one day in particular, I think it was one evening, where I wrote nearly 1,000 words, and that was only in a few hours. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. You know, and I don't really know what to say, but yeah. Moving on to the final topic now of just GCSE being cancelled, and this is the history one. Sorry, history people, if you're still here. I've left you on a bit of a cliffhanger by going on about irrelevant YouTube things. At least you can take history on the irrelevant YouTube things now, can't you? Like, of how, yeah, do a history documentary on that. How small YouTube was coped in the 2020s. Yeah, it'd be a good title. The golden age of YouTube. Well, yeah, we've passed that now. Actually, that's probably like 2015, 2016. We're now in the dark ages, I'd say. Maybe not the dark ages. The dark ages haven't come yet. This is when YouTube, you know, with Roman Empire that got too big and then it exploded. YouTube's getting that, and there's cracks and crevices that are soon going to prise open and destroy the site. But I've spoken way too much about that. Hannah, GC's been cancelled. Moving on. It's cool. It's weird. It's when I heard the news, I almost didn't believe it. So I do remember it was the final week, which I didn't know was the final week at the time. I remember people saying there was going to be an announcement that Boris was going to make. I'm pretty sure that was either the evening before or something around that day. So it must have been it was a Wednesday, yeah. And everyone was on about this announcement that Boris was going to make, and he was saying, "Oh, it could potentially be, GCSEs are cancelled," which I never believed. I always thought it might be just okay. The worst thing for me would be if GCSEs were postponed into the summer, because then I'm like, I'm going to do more revision for a longer time, and then I'm going to miss most of my summer and a few things that I would be doing instead. So that would have been the worst thing for me, but luckily I don't have to do that. Boris just said it's cancelled, which is cool. And when I heard that they were cancelled, it's sort of like it almost, the realisation of it actually being quite a serious matter sort of hit a bit. So I got my girlfriends, and it was how many weeks into revising? Months. It was probably 3 months into revising, but obviously revising is a bit one of those like exponential graphs in it, where it's like it goes, you do more and more and more and more and more, and it grows bigger. So obviously the first month would have been like under an hour a day, pretty much, on average, and then it got to an hour a day, and then the time when I was doing it, that was getting to the point where it was 2 hours a day and like 3 hours on a weekend sort of thing. So it wasn't fun, but it was getting to that stage, and I must have been doing that for a few weeks, and it was getting to the stage where I was thinking, okay, well, not I was thinking, but I was getting told that I should be doing 4 or 5 hours on a weekend, which I didn't exactly like the idea of, but I knew it had to come to that at some point, and yeah, it was getting to that point where I was like, shit, okay, and it's why I'm really happy they're over, because I know that if in a normal situation it would have happened now, I would have not been, I'd have been stressing the fuck out is what I've been doing, so I'd have still been at school, but I'd have just been stressed out, and I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't. No one be enjoying it, but luckily we had 2 days of just freedom and enjoyment at the end of our legal school time, which was nice. But anyway, going back to the GC's being cancelled, the feeling of just having all that, I didn't believe it to start with, so girlfriend's mum shouted up and was like, oh, he said, because Boris said exams aren't happening in the months that they would be, which I got a bit suspicious about, thinking, okay, you said that, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're cancelled. It could mean them happening later or earlier. Maybe not earlier. Earlier would be a bit bullshit, but I mean a lot later. And there was all this stuff, and I didn't want to get too excited, but then eventually it was like, oh, they are cancelled. I don't know why I didn't say